What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Fireside Giants. I'm your host, Anthony Rivardo. I'm doing great today. Thank you for asking. Here to talk about the New York Giants some more and bring you guys some midweek positivity. Heading into Week 5 as the Giants prepare to face the Seattle Seahawks on the road. It's going to be a tough matchup. They're going to need all hands on deck, and unfortunately, they're going to be shorthanded. So I want to discuss two underrated players that have been playing some damn good football for the Giants this season in this episode. But before I do, I want to do an injury update. Yesterday I did an injury update, but we've gotten some updates on the updates, so I want to discuss those. First and foremost, Malik Neighbors still trending in the wrong direction. It seems really unlikely that he plays on Sunday. He has not passed many of the stages of concussion protocol. Actually, I don't even know if he's passed the first stage just yet. Doesn't sound like it. He's still not practicing. And because there is a time element, they have to pass certain stages across a certain number of days in order to be cleared to play. He's pretty much out of time. I think he has to clear a new hurdle tomorrow or several. I don't really know exactly how the concussion protocol works, but all I know is very unlikely. I think he was officially listed as a doubtful today for Sunday. To make matters worse, well, so was Devin Singletary. He's not looking so good either. He didn't practice today, and the likelihood of him playing on Sunday continues to diminish. Seems like there's a very slim chance of him suiting up. Drew Phillips and Adoree Jackson, however, did participate in one-on-one drills, so they have a chance. You know, it's not guaranteed that they're going to play. I think they're probably going to be listed as questionable, but they have a good opportunity here. They might be able to suit up on Sunday, which, my God, that's important. Look at that Seattle Seahawks offense. JSN, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, really good players in the receiving core. We need all hands on deck in that secondary. Really need Drew Phillips and Adoree Jackson healthy and ready to play. So there's your update on the injuries, but now I do want to transition and discuss two underrated studs that the New York Giants have this season through the first 4 weeks of the campaign, and I'm actually going to tie this into this injury report. So like I mentioned, Malik Neighbors probably not playing on Sunday as he continues to recover from his concussion. That should open up an opportunity, though, for a couple of other wide receivers in the lineup. Now, first and foremost, we're going to see more Jalin Hyatt. Jalin Hyatt, we've been begging to get him on the football field. We've been begging to get him some targets, especially some downfield targets. He hasn't really played much at all so far this season. Darius Slayton has kept him off the field, and not a whole lot of the receivers have been touching the ball outside of Neighbors. He leads the NFL in targets with 52. So we're going to get more Jalin Hyatt this week, but we're also probably going to get more Wan'Dale Robinson. Now, Wan'Dale has been playing a lot, and he's second on the team in both targets. He's second on the team in receiving yards and receptions and touchdowns. He is the WR2 for this team, despite playing out of the slot. But if you take a closer look at these stats here, not only has Wan'Dale Robinson been the Giants' second best receiver, but he's actually been a damn good one, like a very good wide receiver. He has 100 yards after the catch so far this season. He has 10 first downs. Both of those are very solid numbers through 4 games. And when taking a look at some of these more advanced stats, according to Pro Football Focus, Robinson ranks second among wide receivers in target rate when the defense generates pressure. So as we look ahead to this Week 5 matchup, Giants versus Seahawks, well, guys, guess what? The Seattle Seahawks defense ranks first in pressure rate. So a lot of pressure going into the Giants backfield. What are they going to do? Probably feed Wan'Dale Robinson. He gets a lot of targets when Daniel Jones is under pressure, second most in the NFL, and going up against a defense that generates the most pressure out of any team. I would expect Wan'Dale Robinson receptions over if you're a betting man. I like it this week. He's going to get a lot of targets against the Seahawks defense, probably pick up a good amount of receptions. Like I said, he has 100 yards after the catch this season. He has 194 total yards. So most of his yardage is coming with the ball in his hands after the catch. And here's some more stats to kind of add context to that. Now, Wan'Dale Robinson has the third lowest average depth of target among all wide receivers in the NFL this season at 4.8 yards. He's been targeted 38 times this season and caught 26 balls for 194 yards and the 1 touchdown, but 30 of those 38 targets have come from within 0 to 9 yards of the line of scrimmage, and 4 of them have been behind the line of scrimmage. So only 4 of Robinson's targets have come on passes traveling over 10 yards downfield. This guy is the definition of a check down merchant, but he's not really. At the same time, like he gets the ball checked down to him a lot, but also the Giants are scheming up ways to get him the ball close to the line of scrimmage and let him create yards after the catch. Again, 100 yards after the catch through 4 games. It's 25 yards after the catch per game. he's doing a great job of getting the ball close to the line of scrimmage and creating yardage after the catch. So when you're looking at those stats, though, he only has one target over 15 yards downfield, or over 10 yards downfield. It was a 15-yard gain. He's not getting the ball downfield, but again, that should mean Jalen Hyatt, Darius Slayton, go run loose. In this game with a lot of pressure and with Wan'Dale Robinson being as good as he is on the underneath portion of the field, keep throwing it down to him, keep letting him create those yards after the catch, and hopefully that'll open up opportunities at the second level from the 10 to 20-yard range for Hyatt. Darius Slayton on those backside digs, he runs those pretty well. Throw it over the middle of the field and hopefully pick up some yardage downfield with those two guys. Meanwhile, like I said, you can really bank on the 3.9 yards after the catch per reception from Wan'Dale Robinson, and just the fact that the overwhelming majority of his targets have come from 0 to 9 yards or behind the line of scrimmage. Maybe we get some more screen plays mixed in there. Definitely a lot of drag routes, slant routes, RPOs with a passing option to Wan'Dale. He should be a heavy part of the game plan while facing the Seattle Seahawks defense that generates a lot of pressure. But now I do want to flip over to the defensive side of the ball and talk about maybe the most underrated player on the New York Giants right now. Micah McFadden has been having a hell of a season, and we need to talk about it because we haven't talked about it enough, to be completely fair and honest to him. You know, we have talked about him playing well in spurts in the past, but man, he's been a lot better than we've given him credit for. So far this season, McFadden leads the Giants with 18 solo tackles. He also leads them with 27 total combined tackles. This is crazy considering the fact that he didn't even play in week 1. The Giants have some great players on this defense, Bobby Okereke being one of them, the starting middle linebacker. He's not leading the team in tackles despite playing in all 4 games. It's Micah McFadden who's leading the team in tackles, and he's only played in 3 games. Now, adding more context to it, he's also added 2 tackles for loss, 4 quarterback hits, and 1.5 sacks. So not only is he making tackles against the run or in coverage, he's getting in the backfield and pressuring opposing quarterbacks, which has always been a specialty for McFadden, and in my opinion has always made him a pretty underrated and special player for this Giants defense. He's one of those guys that, yeah, he can be a little bit over-aggressive sometimes. He shoots into the backfield and he misses some tackles. That's been the biggest criticism of him, and we'll dive into that in a second. But, you know, when you watch the way that he plays on Sundays day to day, he does apply a lot of pressure. Like, he gets into the backfield. He makes plays behind the line of scrimmage, and that's really important. That kind of versatility makes you a pretty special player. To add more context to it, he has 6 pressures across 3 games so far this season, 2 quarterback hits, 4 quarterback hurries, and, of course, the sack and a half. So he's been in the backfield a whole lot, a real weapon as a blitzing inside linebacker, and I really like the way that he plays. Now, if you want to take an even closer look at it from Pro Football Focus, he has a 90.2 overall grade on the season so far, which ranks 2nd in the NFL behind only San Francisco 49ers All-Pro linebacker Fred Warner. I mean, that's some pretty nice company to keep if you're Micah McFadden. And let's add on to that. He has a 90.1 run defense grade. That also ranks 2nd best in the NFL behind only Bobby Wagner. So this is some really great company that Micah McFadden is keeping through the first 4 weeks of the season and only his first 3 games of the season. He's been playing really well. And this is a stat that I really like that PFF does. His average depth of tackle is 2.4 yards, which ranks 17th in the NFL. And what that tells you is not only is he making tackles, but he's making them close to the line of scrimmage. And that's important context because oftentimes you will see linebackers who have 150, 160 combined tackles on a season, but their average depth of tackle is like 8 yards downfield. So what are they really accomplishing? They're tackling running backs who are gaining a significant yardage, or they're tackling receivers downfield after they've given up a big play in coverage. You know, there's more context to the story when you add in 2.4 average depth of tackle. That means that all of these plays that we're seeing Micah McFadden make, they are impactful, run-stopping plays close to the line of scrimmage, and that is, of course, a great thing. So let's talk about the elephant in the room, though. Anytime you bring up Micah McFadden, Giants fans immediately counterpoint and say he hasn't been that good. He misses so many tackles. He can never bring the guy down. He missed that 1 sack against Jaden Daniels in week 2, and that one really stands out as the egregious missed tackle that he had. I mean, Jaden was right there in his arms. He could have brought him down. 3rd down stop. It would have been a huge play. So he misses that tackle, but, I mean, It's Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels, look at the historic month of his first career that he just had. I mean, he's been incredible, and we know what a runner he is, how hard he is to bring down. While Micah McFadden needed to make that play, you know, sometimes great players beat other great players, and that's just what happened there with Jaden Daniels. He's only missed 3 tackles so far this season, so he's averaging 1 missed tackle a game. Now, ideally, you don't miss any tackles in a game, but I'll take 1 missed tackle a game. That's not a lot. That's not an egregious total. His 10.7% missed tackle rate, it's not that high. He had a 20.7% missed tackle rate last year. That's pretty high. He had 25 missed tackles across the season last year. That's a lot. But 3 through 3 games, I'll live with that, because oftentimes what he's doing when he's missing these tackles, he's running into the backfield and diving at the feet of a running back within the first second of the play, forcing the running back to change course and then run into somebody else. So it doesn't always give you the full picture here when you see a missed tackle on the stat sheet, because sometimes he's missing tackles, but he's still doing his job in plugging a run lane or pushing a running back into another defender while missing these tackles, which is why I've always thought that putting stock into that statistic can be a little bit misleading sometimes. So 3 missed tackles through 3 games, to me, that's fine. I think he's doing a great job as a tackler. He's had, 17 solo tackles so far this season. What more can you ask for? And with most of them coming from 0 to 4 yards in front of the line of scrimmage, guy's been making plays against the run. He's been adding pressure, adding more context to the pressure. He had 14 pressures all of last season. He already has 6 this season, so he's well on pace to set a new high. And he has 11 run stops against the run so far this season. Now, one area of improvement, though, for Micah McFadden that I will throw out there is his coverage. He's never been a great coverage linebacker. We know that. He's a good run-defending linebacker. He gets in the box. He makes some tackles behind the line of scrimmage. He's a decent blitzer. Those are the things that he does well. We've never said, hey, Micah McFadden's so good in coverage. He's made some plays here or there, but that's not his strong suit. So far this season, he's been targeted 7 times in coverage. He's led up 7 receptions, 100% completion rate for 53 yards, 7.6 yards per reception. And he's let up a touchdown. So if there's one area for him to improve, that's it. However, I think you live with it. You just try not to put him in coverage too much if you're Shane Bowen. You try not to put him in positions where you need him to make a play in coverage, because what he does best, he hangs around the line of scrimmage and he makes run stops, man. Micah McFadden has quietly been one of the best linebackers and defensive players in the NFL this season. And you know what? This is the 3rd season of his career. He's on a 4-year rookie contract. I think we're talking extension time for Micah McFadden at the end of the season. Might as well lock him up, have that Bobby Okereke and McFadden duo playing together for the foreseeable future, because I love the way that those two play in tandem with one another. And I've been really damn impressed with Micah McFadden. We do give Joe Schoen some criticism sometimes. We say he's missed on a lot of these mid-round picks, and he has, but he's hit on quite a few of them as well, and Micah McFadden definitely looks like one of those hits for me. Despite how you might feel about the way that he performed in 2022 as a rookie, and though he had his mishaps, last season he had some really great games, was a really poor tackler, had a couple of bad games, but so far this season, tackling's been solid, run defending has been great. He's looked like a damn good player to me. I like Micah McFadden. I'm really impressed with the way that he's played. And so he is the second underrated stud that the New York Giants have through the first 4 weeks of the season. But I think it's really fun to take a look at these players and find additional context for the way that they've played. Like with Wan'Dale Robinson. He's totally brought in a bunch of receptions, and he's been targeted a lot. Where are those targets coming? How is he gaining those receptions? Again, the context of them all coming close to the line of scrimmage, it's interesting, and it tells you what the Giants' game plan might be in Week 5 versus the Seattle Seahawks. And then with Micah McFadden, it's great to take a look at the context of these stats and say, hey, not only has he been picking up some tackles, but he's been doing so close to the line of scrimmage and primarily against the run. So this is all some good stuff. And again, these players are playing very well within their systems. They're being given jobs and they are completing them. They're achieving them at a high level. And that's really what you want to see if you're a coach like a Shane Bowen or Mike Kafka / Brian Dable on the offensive side of the ball with Wan'Dale Robinson. So really interesting stuff here. I'm actually very excited to be able to talk about 2 good players on the New York Giants, guys. It's Thursday. We're getting ready for this game on Sunday. I know the Giants are 1-3. I know a lot of you are doom and gloom. You feel like the season's over. You never know when an upset is going to happen. This is when everybody's going to rule out the Giants. 1-3 on the road in Seattle. No Malik Neighbors. Okay, just call it a loss, right? That's what a lot of people are going to do. Never know if you're going to sneak one out. Perhaps the Giants win this game, then they're 2-3 in a very bad NFC East, and all of a sudden they have a chance. So let's keep an open mind, guys. Let's try to be optimistic when we can, and again, take the positives away when we can. Let's look at this team, find some underrated players, and appreciate them. That's what I wanted to do in this episode with Wan'Dale Robinson and Micah McFadden, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this little breakdown on two underrated studs that the New York Giants have through the first 4 weeks of the season. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this episode. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Ring the bell so you don't miss an episode, and comment your thoughts down below in the comment section. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, please make sure to leave us a 5-star review. Go ahead and follow us on all of our social media channels at Fireside Giants. Without further ado, I'll catch you all on the next one. Have a good one, and let's go Giants.